Markets are just a bit off this evening so far, and bond yields are up just a bit as well. Moody's downgraded U.S. debt after the market closed on Friday night, but I don't think that the markets were surprised by that, and I think they'd be down a lot more if they were surprised by that. I think bond yields would be up a lot more. Anyway, since we'd already had a previous downgrading of the U.S. debt, this was kind of like, okay, they're just adding their own voice to the same subject matter. More likely, there's some profit taking and some anxiety going into the CPI on Tuesday. Tomorrow, yeah, I'm already thinking Monday morning, right? So anyway, on Tuesday, we'll have the CPI, and then on Wednesday, the PPI. The CPI is the bigger hurdle of the two. And then, I don't know, I think there's like 10 Fed speeches this week. So if we can get past all of that this week, hey, it could be a great Thanksgiving week, and then we'll go on to Cybertruck week. So exciting days ahead. So this is Randy Kirk. Like, subscribe, hit notify. Coming up tomorrow morning is our regular programming in the morning, where we deal with the first 10 minutes of the market, see where things are going, the overnight news from Tesla and in general. And then, of course, in the midday, every Monday now, and probably Tuesday as well, we have Brian White. And then in the evening, we now have our regular Good News Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And on Monday and Friday, that is Larry Goldberg. So you want to hit notify so you'll be reminded of all of those things. All right. And of course, I want you to join Patreon. And thank you for all of those folks who have joined Patreon recently. And then more Cybertruck bottle openers will be great. I'll talk about those a little bit later in the show, but you know the drill, and all of the information is down in the information below. And lots of orders coming in over the weekend. So thank you. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty of the news here. So we have Holmar's catalog saying, reporting this on X today, a Honda Motor Company senior executive said Thursday the automaker would put no further funds into Cruise. Honda and GM had maintained a partnership in Cruise since 2018 to develop autonomous vehicles. As recently as last month, Honda and Cruise had planned to test commercial robotaxis in Tokyo. Guess that's over. Yeah. Okay, we'll see now whether Honda will start looking for a new partner when it comes to autonomous vehicles, along with lots of other folks like, Ford, anyway, and General Motors, and go down the line. All right. In other news, the California Public Employees Retirement System, the largest pension in the United States, increased their investment in Tesla and Rivian. In fact, in the third quarter, CalPERS bought 2.3 million more Tesla shares to end the quarter with 9 million shares. Look at that. Home Depot will be reporting on Tuesday. That'll give us some idea of how homeowners are spending their money with regard to beautifying for the holidays, and they'll also give us their expectations for the holidays. And other retailers like Target, TJ, Alibaba, and Walmart will also be reporting this week, and all of them should also be giving us some indication of what they're expecting for the holidays, which right now we're expected to be soft. We also have Cisco Systems, which would be another important one to watch as the week comes along. All right, let's look at what the reporting is going to be this week. There's a lot of it. We've got a couple of Fed speakers on Monday. We've got a couple of Fed speakers on Tuesday. Then we have the National Federation of Independent Business Folks. They have their optimism index that'll come out early on Tuesday morning. That will be followed by the Consumer Price Index, the core CPI, the CPI year over year, and the core CPI year over year. Those are going to be all super key. And then in the afternoon, more Fed chair. Let's see. Fed Vice Chair, Chicago Fed President. Oh my gosh, it just goes on and on with these people talking out there and screwing up the markets. All right, then on Wednesday morning. Oh, by the way, on the CPI and the PPI, is it expected to be kind of a neutral with good month-over-month information and flat year over year? The headline is supposed to be down year over year, but the core flat year over year. So any beats on that will be fantastic. Hitting these expected numbers will be fine. But if they're higher than expected, that would be extremely bad. As you could probably have figured that out with without my careful analysis. All right, then we've got on Wednesday, we've got the producer price index on Wednesday morning. And that is expected to be down to 0.1% again. Now that is, of course, 1.2%, on an annualized basis. It was 0.5% last month, which was too high. And then you've got this core PPI, which they're not betting on. So I'm thinking core CPI should be down. It was 0.2% last month. I'd like to see it down to 0.1 or 0. Year over year, it was 2.2 last month on the headline and 2.8 on core. No guesses on those from me either, but the street has nothing to say about that. U.S. retail sales comes in on that morning as well. And last month it was up 0.7%, which was huge. So this month they're expecting to be only 0.1%, which would be nice, kind of even going forward kind of numbers that the Fed would probably like, as opposed to another 0.7% month. Retail sales minus auto, they're figuring about, I'm sorry, on the first one, they're expecting to be down a little bit, actually negative 1.1%. On retail sales minus autos, up 0.1%. And last month, that was extremely high as well. Then we've got the Empire State Manufacturing Survey on the same morning. And that they're expecting to be down 3.8% down, but that compares to 4.6% down last month. So it'll be an improvement, but still negative. Then we have business inventories later that morning, which I won't be able to report on until that evening. That's expected to say about the same, up 0.4%. I've been reading now that business inventories in general are higher than generally you'd like to see them at this point, but it is mostly automotive. We know that auto inventories are not in a great place. More presidents and vice presidents and other kind of Fed folks speaking Wednesday afternoon. Then we go to Thursday, and more Fed folks talking on Thursday morning. Then we have initial jobless claims. Folks are expecting those to be tad higher than last week, but that might be hopium. Then we have the import price index, which is supposed to drop 0.3. That would certainly be good news. And then the import price index minus fuel, which is they're expecting to be, they actually don't have an expectation. There's no guess there. It was down 0.2%. I'm sorry, yes, down 0.2% last month. So I would think minus fuel, that's a good question. Generally speaking, what we're hearing is, places like China, which is our second biggest partner in trade, I think. Is Canada second? Mexico's now first. I'm not 100% sure. Canada and China are close. But anyway, I would think that at least from China, we'd be seeing lowered pricing. Then we've got the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Survey, which was down 0.9% last month, expected to be down 0.8%, which is an improvement, but still down. And then industrial production, which was up last month, 0.3, expected to be down 0.3. Well, all those things should make the Fed happy if all those things come in true. Capacity utilization, which you're hoping for around 80%. Last month, it was 79.7. This month, they're expecting 79.4, which would be a reduction. That would be good news for the Fed. A lot of this stuff that's good news for the Fed, remember, is bad news for the economy. And at some point, we need that, the economy, the market is not going to be happy if the economy is tanking, but I don't think the economy is tanking. Then we get more Fed speakers and more Fed speakers. And then we also have the Home Builder Confidence Index, which is expected to stay about the same at 40, which is a very negative number. Then on Friday, we have housing starts expected to be about the same as last month. And we have building permits expected to be down just a tad, actually both down a little bit. And those were decent numbers, but not great last month. So this would indicate we're still not going to have enough, we're just not going to have enough housing forever. I mean, forever and ever. And then a bunch more Fed speakers on Friday as well. So all that is, all those Fed speakers it makes it for a crazy week. We can hope for more calm on Thanksgiving week. Anyway, Trueflation is currently at 2.95, and that is down from 3.03 last week. They have also started publishing a new monthly report. So this is interesting. So Truflation is saying that their total CPI month over month is 0.01% up. That would be fantastic. We could all get along with that. They're showing 2.63 year over year. Now, this is their monthly number. And of course, right now they're showing 3.03. So their monthly number at the end of October was 2.63. That'd be a fine number. The Fed would be totally thrilled with that. On goods, they're showing those down month over month, 0.19, small amount, but up 1.45 year over year, which again would be fine. Services, however, up 0.348 year over year, but flat month over month. That's good number two. And then on the Truflation core, and this is not going to be identical by any stretch of the imagination with the CPI core, but they're showing that also at plus 2.82 year over year, which is fine, and only up 0.14 month over month. It's a little strong, but not bad. And then non-core at down, actually going negative in October, mostly I would think because of the oil and natural gas prices dropping off a cliff. Okay, so let's take a look. That's what's happening this week. You think that's enough? Oh my gosh, who knows where the market might end up this week with all of that information coming in. No wonder the market's a little skittish on Sunday night. So let's take a look and see exactly where things are right now. As you know, there's no trading yet to look at with regard to Tesla, but the individual stocks. But what we have is we've got the pre-market down. NASDAQ's down 49 points. That's down 0.31%. We've got the S&P futures down 13, which is down 0.29%. And we got the Dow down 79, which is down 0.23%. Again, if you look at these numbers, all three right in the quarter of a percent down, not strongly down, indicating jitters, but not being totally upset, like, for instance, with that downgrade of the U.S. economy or the U.S. downgrade of the U.S. bond debt. So anyway, then we go into the Bitcoin, which is showing at 37.2 up. It's a little hard to, I'm not sure that when it says up 187, whether that's up compared to Friday or up compared to yesterday. Anyway, on Bitcoin, I don't follow it closely enough. So for those of you who do, it's at 37.2. That should help you to understand what that's going on. The dollar is pretty flat, but very high, but flat. Gold up $5.40 at 1943, but it's still way off of its recent highs. And then oil is down 40 cents at 76.75, which is continuing to be a real good number. Lots of different headlines on oil. Everybody's got an opinion, and they're all different. Some people saying that oil is going to be going back into the 90s and hundreds, in the new year. Other people saying, which would be my thought, is why? What would cause that to happen? I'm trying to figure out why they think it's going to go up dramatically next year. There's apparently plenty of supply, so much so that Saudi Arabia and Russia have cut their supplies by millions of barrels, and OPEC, and we still have $75 oil. So the folks that are thinking oil goes up next year, what's going to be the impetus? I don't see it. Okay, and then in the bond market, what happened to the bond market? It went away. Here we go. Bonds up roughly 3 basis points on the 10-year at 4.656. That's kind of right in the middle of the recent range that it's been trading in. I'd like to see it go back down below 4.5. That's my goal, my hope, my desire. I'm not trading it, but that's what I'd like to see happen. And then on the 2-month, up about 1.5 basis points, and the 2-year up not quite 1 basis point. And the spread between the 10-year and the 2-year is still at about 3.5. That's close to where it's been for a while. So we're looking at the inversion still being pretty strong. Okay, so earlier this morning, I did a show because everybody's worried about where are the jobs going to be in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years. So I've been thinking about this for a year, and I sat down And I came up with where I think the jobs are going to be. So you can tell your grandkids or even your kids might be thinking their job's going to be eaten up by these robots or by ChatGPT or by Grok for sure, because man, that thing's smart. Anyway, so what should people be thinking about in terms of job, where they should maybe be starting to train themselves or prepare themselves for the future? And I gave 8 categories of jobs that I think are going to be screaming in 2035 or so. And so that might be fun to look at if you didn't already check that out earlier today. Obviously, if you haven't seen these before, you don't watch the channel very often, but maybe you're brand new to the channel. This is a hot selling, fun thing that you want, and you want it because you have all kinds of uses for yourself. It's a great, goes right up on your refrigerator. It's a refrigerator magnet. Grab it off the refrigerator to open up your beer or your cold drink that requires a bottle cap opener. It is a cool little fun thing. You can put it up on a shelf like I've got right over there. I got the Cybertruck sitting on the shelf. You can take it to the cabin. You can take it to your boat. You can take it to a football game. You can put it in your ice chest and take it wherever you go. You can put it on your airplane so that you make sure you've always got it on your plane, and you can give it to all your friends, neighbors, and associates, and you can buy it for buyers. If you don't normally buy gifts, you just give everybody money. Here's a place you can spend $25 and really get them to go, oh my gosh, that's so cool. That would be a new for you, right? At least recently. And besides, you could get all your Christmas shopping done now instead of, way later in December. All right. So $25 for one, $45 for two, $65 for three. And you can see it gets better and better as you buy more and more, because I save freight. That's why I can do that. On 2, I have a better freight deal. On 3, I have a better freight deal. On 10, you can get all the way down to $22 a piece or $220 for 10. If you live outside the country, please add another $20 to cover the freight getting outside the country. And then be sure to mention whether you want the stainless version or do you want the camo version. That'll help both of us. We'll spend less time figuring that out if you forget to put it. When you send the money to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all lowercase letters. For those of you who don't use PayPal or you don't, have any other way, you can pay me. Anyway, if you'd like to, I don't have credit cards. So if you'd like to send me a check, you can do it that way. Just do it in the comments below or look me up on X. DM me on X or send something. You can send it to my email. Take a picture of the front of the check and the back of the check and send it to randykirk77@gmail, just like that. There you go. All right. So, and then if you don't want to pay for it, but you do want to get onto Patreon and you've been going, you know what, that Randy Kirk, I get a lot of benefit. I get a lot of value out of watching his program. I at least get a laugh once in a while. I get to laugh at him when he's way off on his predictions. So if you get a laugh from time to time and it's worth $5 a month for that laugh, did I tell you the joke the other day about why scientists don't trust atoms? Because they make up everything. I think I told, that was from Grok. Grok made that joke up and I'm just repeating it. Anyway, if that laugh was worth $5 or even $10 a month, then you could join Patreon and you get news as it happens during the day, if there is any news worth reporting, and I don't fill up your inbox with a bunch of news you don't want to see, only stuff that I think is important, and I add my commentary. If that would be worth something to you, anyway, $5 a month, $10 a month. If you go to the $10 level, you get one of these for free, all right? If you go with the $10 level and you really don't want one, well, or if you would prefer, you can get both of my books on audio, okay? That's like a $40 value, okay? You get both of those for free if you join at the $10 level. If you join at the $5 level, you get one or the other. There's actually 2 other books you can get to. Too complicated, would take too long. I am ready to go watch Sunday Night Football. What about you? I hope you have plenty of time left to watch Sunday Night Football. That's it. I'll see you later. See you in the morning. It's been great talking to you.